And we're rolling right along here. It's another one from Paris on the hot pepper. This one is one I tried to grow this year and seedlings ended up dying. It's called the Peter pepper. Some people call it the penis pepper or penis chili, whatever. A lot of the pods tend to have a phallic look to them. Faintly similar bunching up on the bottom as the Trinidad scorpion. The one that I have here looks similar to a scorpion, except it's, you know, longer. The crown just fell off. So I'm going to cut this open and take a few seeds out of it. I'm going to try and give this another go next year for growing purposes. But yeah, as you can see, it's... And if this wasn't so pointed, look a little bit more phallic. I've seen ones that look exactly like a penis. So, I'll split it open down the side here. Get a good look at what it's like inside. Pretty high seed count. And I keep the placental tissue in there, but I do take out seeds with ones that I don't have seeds for, or if I have very few seeds of. Okay, so looks like it's got a fairly decent oil content, capsaicin. The placental tissue's got the nice orangish tinge to it. Oh, definitely want that back inside there. That's some placental tissue. Okay, so not all that many seeds, and actually a lot of these look like they might not be viable. They got black spots shining through. So, we'll see. Placental tissue runs down into the bottom here. Here, I'll show you the... See the color there? It's got that orange color, which means there's a decent amount of capsaicin in it. Okay, so Peter pepper. I'm going to put it all together. Smells green. It smells green, for lack of a better term, I guess. But here we go. Fairly bitter. A little bit of sweet and tart, but it's pretty bitter. The flavor itself is pretty good. It does have a green. Trying to place it. It's a familiar fruit or vegetable. Rhubarb? No. Maybe apple-like? A little bit warmer than the Cherry Belle, definitely. Approximately the same heat as like a jalapeno, or maybe a little bit hotter. Although I've had some jalapenos that were hotter than this. Few thousand. I'd say maybe 4 or 5,000 Scovilles. Very interesting burn. Kind of blossoms out and then comes back a little bit. Tip of the tongue is stinging. Top of the tongue towards the right side, or my left, your right. Lingering. Yeah, I want to say it is almost like a certain kinds of apples, like a Granny Smith maybe. Well, but not exactly like that. I don't know. That might not even be entirely accurate, but it has an apple-ish tone to it. Yeah, top of my tongue towards the back, and then on this side, good warmth right in here and down into my chest. But it's not too bad. Nice, pleasant burn. It's a little stingy on certain parts of my tongue, but it's not unmanageable and it's not totally unpleasant. Just a little bit more stingy of a sensation than the rest of it, where it's just kind of a glow. I feel it starting to go down into my stomach a little bit, like right here. Lingering flavor a little bit. Yeah, that one, the flavor itself, the essential flavor, was really nice. But as far as the different tastes of the sweetness, bitterness, and tartness, it was a little more bitter. That was like the more noticeable, and I could floating back in the background was a good tart sweetness, but the bitterness itself overrode those by a little bit. But again, because of the essential flavor being so much better, that was, I would definitely say that flavor-wise, these are pretty good. If you don't like as bitter of peppers, then you might not like it, but the flavor itself, aside from the sweet tart bitterness, putting those off to the side, the essential flavors, very nice. Skin a little bit tougher, but it was a little bit overripe by the time I got it, so that might have been part of the problem, was that it was toughening up, it was losing its moisture. Or it could not, I don't have a basis for comparison because I'd never had a Peter pepper before. Heat is diminishing. It's still there. You can feel a stripe right on the center of my tongue. And we still got that node right on the back part of my tongue on this side. That's a little more noticeable than the other parts of my tongue. But in general, the top of my tongue is there. A little bit rough of the mouth. Not so much of a lip burn with this one. The Cherry Belle was more on the lips. Flavor's pretty much gone at this point, but yeah. So, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks again, Paris, if you're watching this, for the little goodie bag. I hope you have good luck with the seeds next year, growing those. Yeah. So, Peter pepper, penis pepper, Peter pecker, the chili pecker, as I sometimes call it. It's a capsicum annuum. Still not in certain circles officially recognized as a stable cultivar, even though it's been cultivated since the 1870s, from what the research I've done. Probably because people are a little uptight when it comes to referring to things, parts of the sexual anatomy. People get a little bit weird about that. In general, the double standards of our culture of throwing sexuality in our face, but yet don't talk about it, makes people a little tense. That's just my theory, though, as far as why it's not officially recognized, because of the shape, and people get self-conscious talking about those things. Whatever the case might be, Peter pepper, it's not too bad. Again, bitter, with the tart and sweet floating in the background a little bit more. The bitterness comes through a little bit more, but the flavor itself, like wild apples maybe, is what the flavor I was picking up with that. It was a good flavor, just can't exactly pinpoint it. Skin was a little tough, but again, that could just be because of the pepper's over ripeness by the time I got it. So, whatever the case might be, I would recommend giving these a try just to see if you like them or not. They're not a bitter in the sense that there's no sweetness. I've had some ornamental peppers that were just rancid. No, not rancid, but awful tasting because they were nothing but bitter. Little bit of heat and bitterness, and no sweetness, no tartness, no other flavor than just green and bitter. Like picking up some oak or maple leaves off the tree and just chewing on them. Or picking up a dandelion stem and touching it on your tongue. That kind of intense bitterness. Peter pepper wasn't like that. It was fairly bitter, but there was tart and sweet notes hanging out in the background, and there was that definite apple-ish type flavor, the fruitiness shining through as well. So yeah. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.